The kitchen was my sanctuary, a sunlit haven where I, Emma Langley, found peace amidst the chaos of life. At 34, I'd built a comfortable existence in our Boston brownstone, my days filled with freelance graphic design and my evenings wrapped in the warmth of my husband, Nathan. 10 years of marriage had woven a tapestry of shared dreams, weekend hikes, late-night talks, the promise of a family someday. Nathan, a financial advisor with a disarming smile and boundless ambition, was my anchor. But lately, his late nights at the office and furtive glances at his phone had cast shadows over our perfect life. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. It began with a text I wasn't meant to see. Nathan left his phone on the counter while he showered, and a message from Sophie Carter, his colleague, flashed across the screen. "We need to talk. It's urgent." My stomach twisted, a primal instinct whispering that something was wrong. Sophie was new at Nathan's firm, sharp and poised, with a laugh that lingered too long in my memory from a company picnic. I told myself it was work-related. Nathan was under pressure, chasing a promotion, but the unease lingered. That evening, Nathan was distracted, claiming a client dinner as he kissed me goodbye. His cologne, usually comforting, felt like a mask. I called Lila Monroe, my best friend since college and a journalist with a nose for truth. "Am I being paranoid?" I asked, pacing the living room. Lila laughed, her voice crackling through the phone. "He's probably just swamped, Em, but I'll keep an ear out. Journalist's honour." Her reassurance steadied me, but doubt had taken root. Margaret Langley, Nathan's mother, visited the next day, her presence a blend of maternal warmth and subtle judgment. She sipped tea at my table, her eyes scanning my casual jeans and messy bun. "You're not keeping Nathan happy," she said, her tone sharp. "He needs a wife who supports his career, not one buried in her little art projects." Her words stung, a familiar barb from a woman whose own son I'd come to idolize. I forced a smile, used to her critiques, but her protectiveness over Nathan felt more pointed today. Was she hiding something? Later, rifling through Nathan's jacket for laundry, I found a receipt for a hotel in Providence, dated a week ago, a place we'd never visited together. My heart raced. Was it a business trip he hadn't mentioned? I tucked the receipt away, guilt prickling for snooping, but the question gnawed at me. Tom Reed, my childhood friend and now a lawyer, dropped by that afternoon, his familiar grin a comfort. We reminisced over coffee, but he sensed my tension. "Everything okay, Em?" he asked, his steady gaze cutting through my facade. I hesitated, then confessed my worries about Nathan's distance. Tom offered to look into Nathan's finances discreetly. "Just to ease your mind," he said, his voice calm but firm. I agreed, guilt warring with gratitude. Lila called that night, her tone urgent. I saw Nathan with Sophie at a cafe downtown M. They looked close. Her words were a punch, stealing my breath. I pictured them. Nathan's easy charm, Sophie's attentive smile. Was I losing him? Climax. At a dinner party we hosted, I couldn't hold back. As guests mingled, I pulled Nathan aside, my voice low but firm. "What's with the hotel receipt from Providence?" His eyes flickered, but he laughed, smooth as ever. "Client meeting, Em. You know how it is." Across the room, Sophie's nervous glance betrayed him, her fingers twisting a bracelet I didn't recognize. The room spun as I realized my marriage might be built on lies. The clink of glasses, a mocking soundtrack to my breaking heart. The dinner party left me hollow. Nathan's casual dismissal of the hotel receipt, a wound that wouldn't close. Sophie's nervous glance haunted me, her bracelet glinting like a warning. I barely slept, the receipt hidden in my desk, its existence a silent accusation. Nathan left for work early, his kiss perfunctory, and I felt like a stranger in my own home. I searched his office, heart pounding, driven by a need for answers. A locked drawer in his desk resisted my attempts, but I found a bank statement with unexplained withdrawals, thousands to an account I didn't recognise. My hands shook. Was he hiding money? Or worse, spending it on someone else? Tom called, his voice grave. I checked Nathan's accounts, Em. There are large transfers to an offshore account, not in your name. It could be legit, but it's suspicious. His words tightened the knot in my chest. I thanked him, promising to keep him updated, But fear was winning. Lila, ever the sleuth, offered to dig into Sophie's background. By evening, she sent me screenshots from Sophie's private social media, photos of her and Nathan at a conference, their shoulders touching, her smile too intimate. "You need to confront him, Em," Lila urged. I hesitated, dreading the truth. But I couldn't live in this fog. Margaret's next visit was a battle. She swept into the house, her designer scarf a shield. "Stop meddling in Nathan's work," she snapped, her eyes cold. "You'll ruin him and this family." Her defense of Nathan was fierce, almost desperate, and I wondered if she knew more than she let on. "I'm protecting my marriage," I shot back, startling her. She left in a huff, but her reaction felt like a cover-up. I followed Nathan one evening, my pulse racing as I trailed his car to a sleek downtown apartment building. He entered, and Sophie answered the door, her hair loose, their embrace unmistakable. My world shattered, the city lights blurring through my tears. I drove home, sobbing, and called Tom. "He's cheating," I said, my voice breaking. Tom arrived within the hour, his calm presence grounding me. "We'll figure this out," he said, promising to trace the apartment's owner. His strength gave me hope, but betrayal was a weight I couldn't shake. Lila kept digging, uncovering rumours of Nathan's late-night meetings with Sophie, not always professional. She also found a lease agreement linking Sophie to the apartment, paid by an account tied to Nathan. The pieces were falling into place, each one a dagger. I tried to act normal for Nathan, cooking dinner, smiling through the pain, but his every word felt like a lie. Climax. At a charity gala, I slipped into a quiet corner, hoping to clear my head. Through a cracked door, I overheard Nathan and Sophie arguing. "She's getting suspicious," Sophie whispered, her voice tight. Nathan's reply was cold. "I'll handle Emma. She won't leave me." Rage surged, my hands trembling as I realised he was playing me for a fool. I stormed out, the gala's glamour a cruel contrast to my shattered heart, vowing to uncover every secret Nathan hid. Nathan's words at the gala, "She won't leave me," echoed like a taunt, fueling my resolve. Sophie's apartment, Tom confirmed, was leased in her name, but funded by Nathan's offshore account. "He's funneling money to her," Tom said, showing me bank records. The betrayal was twofold, not just an affair, but a financial deception that threatened our future. I felt like I'd married a stranger. I confronted Sophie at her office, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Leave my husband alone," I said, staring into her cool blue eyes. She smirked, unapologetic. "Nathan loves me, Emma. You're just in the way." Her confidence was a blade, but I saw a flicker of fear. She wasn't as secure as she pretended. "You're a mistake he'll regret," I said, turning away, my heart pounding. Lila's next find was explosive. Evidence that Nathan was involved in insider trading, using Sophie as a front to hide his gains. "He's not just cheating," Lila said, her voice grim. "He's a criminal." The revelation made me sick. The man I loved reduced to a schemer. I shared the evidence with Tom, who began preparing a legal strategy. "This could mean jail time," he warned. But I nodded, ready to face the consequences. Margaret sensed my determination and cornered me at home. "Divorce Nathan, and you'll lose everything. Your home, your stability," she said, her voice venomous. I saw her fear, her social standing tied to Nathan's success. "I'm not the one who broke this family," I replied, standing tall. Her silence was telling. She knew more than she admitted. I recorded Nathan during a heated argument, his mask slipping. "You're nothing without me," he spat, admitting to the affair and the offshore account. "Sophie's worth 10 of you." His words were cruel, but the recording was gold, proof of his betrayal and crimes. He sensed my plan, locking me out of our joint accounts the next day. Tom filed for an emergency audit, freezing Nathan's assets. "You're stronger than you know," Tom said, his belief in me a beacon. At a family dinner with Margaret and Nathan's siblings, I played the recording, my hands steady as Nathan's voice filled the room, confessing his affair and deceit. Margaret's face contorted, and she slapped me, screaming, "You've ruined us!" Nathan lunged, his eyes wild, but Tom stepped between us, his presence a shield. I walked out, heart pounding, the weight of betrayal lifting as I embraced my power to fight back. The dinner was a turning point, Nathan's confession a key to my freedom. I moved out, renting a small apartment with Lila's help, my design work sustaining me. Tom filed for divorce using the recording and financial evidence to secure my share of our assets. Nathan tried to charm me back, his apologies hollow. "I messed up, Em," he said, but I saw through him, a man undone by his own greed. Sophie, facing charges for her role in the insider trading, turned on Nathan, testifying against him to save herself. Her betrayal was poetic justice, and I felt a grim satisfaction. Margaret disowned me, her loyalty to Nathan blinding her, but I didn't care. I was free, my life no longer tethered to her approval. Lila and Tom became my anchors. Lila helped me furnish the apartment, her humour a lifeline, while Tom navigated the legal maze, his steady presence a reminder of my worth. The divorce was finalised, and Nathan's trial loomed. I launched my own design firm, my passion reignited, and clients poured in, drawn to my story of resilience. Nathan's trial ended in conviction, 3 years for insider trading, his reputation in tatters. Sophie's testimony sealed his fate, and she faded into obscurity, her ambition, her downfall. I visited Nathan once, not for closure, but to see the man he'd become, hollow, diminished. "You broke us," I said, and left, the prison doors closing behind me. My firm thrived, and I bought a small house, a haven for me and my dreams. Lila threw a housewarming party, Tom's laughter mingling with hers, and I felt whole. The vows I'd made to Nathan were shadows, but I'd forged new promises to myself, to my future. Love, I realised, wasn't in grand gestures, but in the quiet strength of those who stood by me. As I watched the sunset from my porch, I knew I'd not just survived, I'd triumphed.